Hello, I'm roaringbug, and welcome to my Sims 4 speed build. Today's build is called Modern Desert Dwelling, and I am using those new Desert Deluxe windows from the Desert Deluxe kit. I saw another Sims 4 builder. I think it was Kate Emerald. And she does. Oh, if you don't know her, she does fantastic builds. She likes round curved walls that she customizes with debug objects, and I think she's in love with that new cubed shaped side table that comes in a Desert Luxe kit, because she's probably gonna do amazing things and make curved objects with that item. But she had mentioned that those square windows remind her of an airport, and I gotta say it does. It kind of reminds me of a control tower in an airport. But I enjoy that new brick. It's not brick, that new concrete. Yeah, that earthy looking concrete. I like the aesthetics of the desert, like natural materials. It's not really desert decor, it's more modern decor to do natural materials and not have any embellishments. It's really like stripped away, and it should just have the beauty of the material and not so much of like curves and not really curves, but like designs just for design's sakes. It should just be more about the beauty of the materials, which I think is a bit romantic, in its own sense. Like you don't need to add like artistic embellishments in order to make something beautiful. The thing itself, the material itself, is the beauty. And I like the outdoor stuff in the Desert Luxe kit, but I gotta say, it's like you're building two living rooms. Like you're building an indoor living room and you're building an outdoor living room, which is a little redundant. I mean, The Sims don't really have that much gameplay outside. I mean, you can have them do like outdoor activities like swimming, or I guess swimming or is kind of like the only kind of thing you can have for an outdoor activity in The Sims. Or maybe like the water slide, but you would only have the water slide if you have the like backyard kit. I think there's a kit just for backyard stuff, and I've seen it like in other videos with people who have all the packs where you can have like a water slide or fireworks. I don't have those packs, so I would love it if my Sims had fireworks, and I heard they're great if you want to start a fire, if you're into that kind of gameplay. Though I have to say I like chaotic gameplay. Like I occasionally like to do gameplay that's traditional with families, but because when I first started playing The Sims, I started playing over COVID because I had time on my hands, and I've been like playing for maybe like almost 2 years now, like a year. I think like a year now. Yeah, since this, I guess, last summer? So yeah, kind of like a year, a little over a year now I've been playing The Sims. And, I played basically vanilla, just so I can get used to all the careers and just, finding your way around in the game. And when I first started building, I built basically boxes. because I had no idea how to manipulate the roof pieces or raise foundation. I didn't have any clue on how to do any of that stuff, and I have to say I was really proud of my box. You know, it was a plain box, but by golly, it was my box. And, you know, now I've learned how to better get an understanding on how to do building by watching other YouTube videos about building and, you know, learning techniques and watching tutorials. I watched James Turner, and he has actually a lot of nice videos on, you know, learning how to do all the little cheats, because I mean, it's not a cheat because it's in the game, but you can open a menu bar in order to move objects. Like, I think the most popular one is bb.move objects, and it's really useful because, you know, everything's in a grid system, so everything locks into place. But sometimes you need things to be a little off. Like there, yeah. That shower, I moved it slightly in the wall so you wouldn't see the white tiling. Because I wanted this dark tiling bathroom to be really stark and not have that white tile like in your face when you're looking at the build. Not that you would, because, you know, when you play The Sims, you know, I usually play with the half cutaway walls. So, you know, I'm seeing some of my decor, but I'm not seeing everything in the house. Like, I don't ever play with all the walls up. And I know you can play in first person mode, but that's kind of dizzying, and I get motion sick. And my motion sick is pretty bad. I mean, if I spin around enough in my office chair, I could probably make myself feel motion sick. Which is, you know, kind of sad, but... Oh, but I heard that motion sickness is not, is actually the default setting. Because in nature, if you move, but you're physically not moving, that's your brain telling you that you probably ate something bad. Like primitive brain mode, that would be like if you ate a bad mushroom or something, and your body's natural response is you're seeing spinning, but you're not moving. You probably ate something that's poisonous, and that's why you would, you know, lose your cookies, because it's your body's natural response. And excuse me, and I heard that that happens because motion sickness is detected in your inner ear, because that regulates and lets you know if you're moving by the sensors in your inner ear, because you actually have it looks like a snail structure in your ear, and it's filled with liquid, and that's what reverberates and lets you hear sound, and that's what causes motion sickness, because it's sensing motion, but, you know, you're not moving, and that's what causes the sickness. So another random fact I know about the inner ear is, you know, when you occasionally hear a ringing in your ear, it's because your that little water snail structure in your ear that detects sound by vibrations in that liquid, it gets it from sensors from little hairs in your ear. And when one of them falls off, you know, like your normal hair, like when you comb or something, it when it falls in your ear, that's what causes the ringing in your ear. So yeah, just a random fact. And I hadn't really talked much about the build, but as you can see, I am just doing the second floor with bedrooms and bathrooms. I didn't really think of what kind of Sims would live in this house. I just created like a basic family house. Oh, as you can see, I am putting that new curtain. The thing about this curtain is that it doesn't snap into place. I move the windows out of the way and then I put them where they should be, and so that the windows, the window curtains would snap into place. Because when you do have the windows there, it messes up the alignment where that center rod will snap. So I that's a little annoying. I really hope The Sims fixes that. And yeah, I have this really tiny skill room. I guess arguably you could turn it into another bedroom if you wanted to. Like, I think that'd be a really good, like, toddler room, or I guess I would use it as a toddler room because toddlers can't use stairs until, like, they get higher in the movement skill. And and I'm using these plants from Batu. I know a lot of people don't like Batu because they're not into Star Wars. I actually am into Star Wars. I love science fiction. And I gotta say, I did get a kick making clones because I was really into watching the Clone Wars. And if you ever happen to watch it, I do recommend it, even though it's a computer-generated show. I felt like the characterization was fleshed out more than any of the movies because they had 7 seasons to do it. So I was really invested in some of the characters. And that's what led me to buy Journey to Batu. I mean, I don't ever go to Batu in The Sims, but I do use the items. Like, Batu has the best lamps. And they have, like, the best little items because it's basically Middle Eastern decor. And, you know, it has a sense of romance to it, you know? That, I mean, I guess it's interesting because it's far removed from American society that it has that sort of exoticism to it. But, you know, there's a Lawrence of Arabia romance to that part of the world, and I guess that's what appeals about that kind of decor that they have. And as you can see, I'm just putting down some desert plants. They're all in the debug menu. And, you know, the rocks in the debug menu are really hard to find. I know there's a mod where you can have your catalog actually make sense, like the Better Build catalog. I forgot the name. I think it's sort of like that, the name of the mod. But yeah, I don't know, like, it's just kind of frustrating that you need a mod just to find your way around the catalog. And here I am just putting down terrain paint and a trash can. Oh yeah, trash can and mailboxes are the 2 things that I always seem to forget when I do builds. I don't know if any of you do the same thing too. I'm sure you do. I mean, I've made the mistake a few times where I've forgotten a mailbox or a trash can. Though if you forget a mailbox, The Sims will automatically put the mailbox behind your front door. It's kind of like in your face, hey, you forgot this very essential item. But yeah, like I like desert builds. I have a whole romance about the imagined desert. Not the actual desert. I mean, I've been to California and I've been to Vegas. So, you know, I've experienced real desert dry heat, and it's not fun. But the imagined desert, I guess it's more like a Joshua Tree kind of desert. You know, the kind of desert you would imagine if you were going on a vision quest to find your spiritual animal, like your spirit animal. Like, that in my head is the imagined desert. This desert that's always in bloom and filled with like I don't know, moths and spirit foxes. I mean, in my head, that is the imagined desert. Oh, and it's always dusk. It's always dusk in my imagined desert. So, like, you always have, like, the lighting is magic. I heard, like, in movies, the twilight hour is called the magic hour. Just because it just looks the best.